Hi, it's Xavier from Expressions again. I just thought today there's been a load of different videos going on from some really good creators, and I seem to be following in their footsteps and just copying what they do. But I thought today, sun's out, as you can see from the reflection off the side of my face. Kept the hat on, otherwise you see the reflection off the top of my head, probably blind half of you through this lens. But no, I thought what I'd do is just take you through some of the jobs that I do today, and this is pretty well standard for this time of year for the nursery. I've got a load of stuff to do on my website, so if anyone has been trying to look and not really sure where it is, there's a massive load of work to do on it and sort of update it and bring it forward. So I just ask people to be patient on that. But no, today I'm going to just survey the stuff that has been recently potted. I've got to check some more flowering plants. Dare I say it, I'm one of those people who once I've enjoyed the flowers a little bit, I'll remove half to 2/3 of them to try and have the energy go into to other development areas. So we'll have a quick look and see how the azaleas are getting on, and the Fuji cherries, because I think I'm going to take those blossoms off this day. And then I'm just going to have a little wander around and see some more repots. Maybe I'll have a look at some of the apples, oaks. I've done most of the larch work, and I've done at least 2/3 of the Japanese maple sapling work. But again, I might have a little look at that. I've got some more pruning to work, but the biggest thing is forever worrying about the wire. November last I put on probably wire on about 40-50 trees, and now it's the time of year when that wire is going to start biting. So every morning I'm out there having a look and trying to decide, does it come off or do I wait another week or so? It's that balance between just starting to bite in and whether or not the branch is set. I think 2 years ago I got it wrong and I took the wire off well early, so all that work done in November was for naught. But you know, that's the way it goes. And to start the day off beautifully, it's 10 o'clock. I've done all the household chores. I'm sure you don't want to hear about them, but that's kept the rest of the family members happy. And as I've gone on to put on my favourite outdoor shoes, I've sat in my chair and found that it's full of yesterday's rain. So I've got a wet bum, which is always a great way to start off the day. But no, I think what I'll do now is just take you through the day, and there's going to be some, I've got to make up some soil, a little bit more. I've just ordered another load of small plastic training pots. I've probably ordered about 50 or 60 this year. Yeah, so let's get on. I'll give you a quick spin around how things are looking at the moment, and then we'll get down to the bottom end of the nursery and see what we can do. Okay, just doing this on my mobile phone. Not sure whether you've got much of my face or not. I've been in this position before with a bowl, but we won't go into further detail with that. I don't think it's appropriate. I just thought I was just about to mix up a whole load more mix for the remainder of my repots, and it's probably one of the most common things that everyone talks about, and I think everyone has a different view on what is the right mix. So I'll show you what mine is, and I think in my first video I showed you the products I use. I've got the pink kitty friend kitty litter. I use a golden grit from local downtown. I'll use a not vermiculite, vermiculite, and a bit of Jack's Magic, from downtown. It's just a sort of peat based, and all I'll do is I'll mix up in proportions in relation to what it is. So if it's a Chinese elm, I might give it a little bit more of the old Jack's Magic mix. But if it's going to be something where I'm looking for good root development, it's already an established young tree, I'll then go for more of the kitty litter. The grit and the vermiculite I tend to keep at a standard 1 or 2 spoonfuls, and I'll mix to this bowl. I don't know how many litres it is. I haven't tried drinking beer out of it, so I don't know how many tinnies it would fill. But I'll show you what I tend to do, and the only thing that the alteration will be the amount of kitty litter I put on, basically. So here you go. May not be that interesting, but I'll show you what I'm doing. I've just got a standard thingy, and all I'll do. It'll be between 1.5 and 2 of the, and that's 2 to 5 mil golden grit. Standard 3 good scoops of the litter. Just the one, whoops, of the Vic, and that's just to give it a little bit of water absorption, so it just retains the water just a little bit longer. You put too much in, or you get the wrong particle size, it either floats on the top or is a mess. And normally just 1 or 1.5 of the compost, which certainly is what I'm potting at the moment. I'll be doing larches, hornbeam, Italian alder. What else have I got there? I'm going to be doing Japanese maple. With the Japanese maple, I'll put another spoonful of kitty litter in there. Spoonful, it sounds like a breakfast, doesn't it? And all I'll do is, because of the magic peat or whatever, you just got to make sure you pick out. There's some big bits there which end up becoming surface soil for me to stand on. And that's pretty well it. There it is. And all that'll happen is that will transfer to my big container. Whoop. Look at that, home video. That's what happens when you're not using your camera stand. Fuji cherry, absolutely loads and loads of lovely blossoms. I noticed that the leaves are just starting to open up on our little twin trunk maple that you saw in the show. But yeah, I'll have to reduce some of those. I'll do that in a minute again. And literally I'll just go around. There's quite a lot of buds still waiting to open, so I'll remove probably 3/4 of those. Yeah, as you can see, they're all in beautiful flower, and looks like the forsythia, the yellow buds are starting to come out on that. But I'll take off at least half of them, and if you're looking for the dead ones, all I'll do is grab it, just remove and remove. Leave top ones, but start reducing. So I'll probably do a few more later on, but literally it is just grabbing right at the base of where the flowers budded out from and just pulling. Not that difficult. I'm still hoping to have time to get this into a flatter pot. Every year I try and get to it, and every year there's always more and more things to do. So maybe this year the juniper will get put into a much shallower pot, so that could happen today or tomorrow. One of the bigger Chinese elms, now just looking, the buds just starting to come out, so that's going to start flushing out, but very happy with the pad delineation. Need to do some weeding here. If I've got my tweezers, I'll go the same way Nigel does and do it one individual weed at a time, so I just need to have a couple of weeks to be able to do that. I notice on this oaks are starting to open up. Still not seeing anything from the ginkgo yet. This dwarf azalea got buds, but they're going to open up late this year. See a couple of the maples there. Got some of the Trident Maples out. This one here I've decided to put on a rock. Yeah, since I last did filming of the garden, I've been setting up these benches here. This is one of the experiments I've done with a hawthorn. Can't remember if I've shown it in any of my other videos, but just done a repot into a Dawn Isaac's got a semi-cascade bowl pot. I think that's going to be very nice at some point, but that went in there a couple of weeks ago. Some olives, and I got them down at the local market for a fiver, little shrubs a couple of years ago, and just keep weeding them out and pruning them. Yeah, anyway, I've got a load of repots to do now, I think. There's some more maple, and then in the blue container there's about another 35 oaks. They're probably about 3 years old now. I need to look at those and see what I can do with those. The repots have been continuing. I've got that Yamadori silver birch, and behind it there's Japanese larch. There's some more Japanese maples there. That's in a Dawn Isaac pot. Oh my gosh, there's so much to do in there. And each year I promise to get nearer, and each year I don't. But the good thing about cuttings and about baby potensai is that if you don't get round to them, then the next year there might be a bit more work on the roots, but the actual trunks and branching often be a lot better. So it's a win-win in the end. Okay, just a little add-on for what I do. It's near the end of the day, and I've just set it up to start checking the wire. And as I said to you, I often have a little bit of nervousness about looking at wire, simply because at the time you spend putting it on, the last thing you want to do is to find out that you waste it. So what I do is I wire my main trees, where I do lots of wiring, and some trees can take up to 3-4 hours to wire. But I'll also wire a lot of smaller potensai. So when it's the time, and the wire's been on for some of these for 3.5 months, I'll check some of the small training trees, and if the branches have set, then I'll start feeling safe to remove on some of the bigger trees. Straightforward wire cutters. Two schools of thought. There are some who say that you can carefully remove the wire, unwinding it, reuse the wire. And I've seen one or two creators who seem to do it quite successfully. I've had too many breaks that in the end, 500 grams of wire, which is how much I probably used on most of the trees last year. I probably spent about 40 quid on wire last year. And yet, for just a private hobby, that's a lot. But as I say, I do a few sales, so I cover my costs. So all I'll do is I'll slowly cut each and just have a look and see how the branch responds. Now there's no marking in that branch at all, which suggests the wire could probably be on a bit longer, but I just want to see if it holds if it goes straight back up, and I'm happy there. There's got a bit of branching there, and I will literally go around to each of the different rings. I would rather in the end take it off just as tough. I mean, there's not any sign of marking there at all. So what that's telling me is that for those bigger Dawn Redwoods which I've got, it's probably going to be quite safe to start the wire removal. And as the buds are starting to come out, and just don't be in a hurry. And I say, that temptation to try and save on wire is there, I know. And I think sometimes with a thicker wire I might. So it's maintaining some movement. It may be that'll come out over time. But I'll watch this, come back to it tomorrow, have a look and see if there's been any loss of shape. But if not, then I will start the process over the next week of dewiring the bigger trees. Be careful, the buds are obviously very delicate. And I say the reason is those buds are coming out, they're going to send fronds out very quickly, and soon it could well get just a little bit more difficult and awkward to get to the wiring without knocking the fronds. This is definitely one of those jobs you can do where have a podcast going, There's not an undue amount of concentration required. I suppose normally the best way of knowing is, it's maintaining the shape. It's maintaining the shape enough that it'll do for me. The best way of knowing though is if you've just got that slight marking. So I could probably say it would be safe to leave the wire on this for another couple of weeks, just so it expands just sufficient to just start biting. But in the sense that probably if you took your watch off, there's the bite marks, but the flexibility or the skin will then remove any marks quickly, so the marking isn't permanent. And again, it's when you do apply wire, support. There's no hurry. And if the wire doesn't come away on the first bite, go around and cut in a separate place. Don't be tempted to twist. And of course, while you do unwiring, you can have a look. I mean, I'm looking at this tree and I'm really quite happy with it. I think it's gonna be a lovely, lovely little tree. Little Dawn Redwood. And as I say, this was actually a cutting. That's all removed. Seems to be holding its shape, so I'm quite happy. And what I'll do is I'll tend to collect all the metal, and that's the only thing to be careful. A lot of stuff goes recycling. I've got a little bag for metal bits. Just pick them all off, and they get collected. So yeah, so that's that one done. These are all the repots that I've been doing. It's good enough weather that I don't need to have them in here too long, but the main reason is because of the pesky birds. So I just keep them in here until I'm satisfied that there's some leaf growth coming. There's some azaleas. I put them into a Dawn Isaac pot. Just a quick add-on. It was with some excitement, as you will well imagine, when the door went this morning and the postman came along and he had a big box for me. And you know what was in that box? Come, let's have a look. Wow. In fact, for plastic training dishes, I'm definitely impressed. Yeah, what I needed. So anyways, when I looked at all those maples and the smaller ones that I wanted to move out of the standard circular pots, got these. I think they're 165 centimetre, 16 centimetres, but nothing special. But they've got the base that means that I only have to put a fine mesh if I want. Lots of tie downs. Anyway, ordered 30 of those. Really, really happy about that. And as always, well packaged, nice box. And I normally use one of two suppliers, either Beachfields or I found that Grow My Bonsai. Find them on eBay, and at the moment he or her is definitely the cheapest when it comes to rectangular training pots, and that's the small size. The other sizes you'll have already seen that I've got is the medium and the large, and there's his mediums, so different sizes. And for those who are looking at that, it's fantastic. I think I bought 30 of these, and if I remember rightly, I think it worked out to £2 a pot, and then there was 10% discount for multiple buys, so it was under £60. And when it comes to having the choice to show people a growing bonsai in a training pot or an old tatty plastic pot, I know which I prefer, so the £2 is definitely worth it. I'm sure you really enjoyed that, because I know I enjoyed talking about it.